Ladies and gentlemen, today's question to the TSA that I'm going to call in a moment is going to be how to find out if you're on a no-fly list. Now, I have called the number and gone through, it gives you the option to report something, which I didn't want to report, I wanted information, and then you go through the secondary option to find out information about the size of the containers that you're allowed to have fluid, and the size of the amount of liquid if you're a sick person. It tells you how to circumvent the rules if you're a diabetic or so on and so forth, which is helpful, but it never lets you speak with an actual agent. So what I want to find out is how to find out if you're on a no-fly list. So I'm going to have to call up the last, which is the first option, to report a problem, let's say. I don't know how else to put it, because it doesn't let you do anything. It doesn't let you speak with anybody unless you're reporting a problem to the TSA, which is ridiculous, but there's nobody to answer the phone, which means that if you were to spend $2,500 for an airline ticket and you're on that list and you get to the airport, you lose the cost of transportation to the airport, you lose the flight, you lose your booking reservations in your hotel, and the travel agency there's no way to know if you're on the list unless you call up the TSA and ask them, but they can't tell. They only sell you the ticket. And the answer to A.S.A.P's travel agency question was, if you're on the no-fly list, do you get your money returned? And somebody from India, again, somebody from a foreign country, told me probably. And what I said to that person was, please send me that document in your contract that says if the TSA stops you, that I will probably get my money back, or I will get my money back, or I won't get my money back. And I think the fellow said his name was Raghu. And I'm not real sure, because he said it 3 times and I still couldn't understand his heavy accent. However, the case that I'm trying to point out here is that you cannot find out if you're on the no-fly list without calling up the TSA. Airline reservations only tell you you can probably get your $2,500 back, which means you're not going to get it back. And what are you going to do? Say, Raghu told me on such and such a date, and he goes back to the conversation that's recorded, and what is Raghu? Who is Raghu? God? Or the god of money? Raghu can't tell me whether I can get my money back. Raghu is part of a spaghetti sauce, and that's all there is to it. So now the telephone number that we're going to call is, if I remember, 866-289-9673. I'm pushing the button. I'm going to put you on speakerphone, and you're going to hear the options. I won't talk, and I'll just
Welcome to the Transportation Security Administration's Contact Center. Your call may be monitored or recorded for quality purposes.
Para servicio en español, oprima el 1.
If you are calling to report a specific security threat, press 2.
We have to press 2, eventually.
Thank you for contacting TSA.
If you don't press 2,
TSA information,
you can spend 10 minutes on this automated message, and you won't get anywhere except automated messages. So I'm going to press 2.
For TSA prohibited items and other travel tips, including ID requirements and the rules for
this is on pressing 1.
And aerosols, press 1. For information related to the Transportation Worker Identification
So because I didn't press 2 right away, it brought me back to menu 1.
TSA claims process, press 3. For issues related to problems obtaining a boarding pass or the federal watch list, press 4. To get the phone number of the TSA
federal watch list. So you do press 2, and then you press the number 4.
Delayed, denied boarding, or identified for additional screening, airlines can now verify and securely store your full name and date of birth to clarify watch list misidentifications. This will enable you to print your boarding pass from the internet at an airport kiosk or curbside. If you have contacted the airlines and continue to experience delays or have experienced difficulties when seeking entry into the United States, you may wish to participate in the U.S. Department of Homeland Security Traveler Redress Inquiry Program.
Redress.
You may complete a Traveler Inquiry Form, or TIF, and submit it along with certain documents to TRIP. The process takes 30 to 45 days. DHS TRIP will mail you a response at the completion of the process. You may download the form and instruction from the DHS website at dhs.gov/trip. To repeat this information, press 1. To have the form faxed, press 2. To have the form mailed, press 3. If you have your redress control number and would like to check the status of your application, press 4. To hear this menu again, press 7. To return to the main menu, press 9.
So in other words, you can never speak with a TSA agent inquiry. You have to put in a form that takes 45 days. How many ways can the United States Mafia fuck the American public? So now I have to fill out a form that's going to take 45 days. Wait, the phone's ringing. Let's see what happens now.
Thank you for calling the TSA Contact Center. My name is Chris. May I start by getting your first and
Good afternoon, Chris. My name, I think you asked me for my name, is that correct?
Yes, please.
Okay. My name is Michael Fazio, but before we go any further, is it okay that I record this conversation so that I can remember what we said?
Oh, yeah, sure. That's by all means.
Thank you.
We record them, so you might as well, too.
Thank you very much, Chris. Okay, I have a question, Chris.
Bear with me for just a moment, please.
Certainly.
I know Michael, but can I get you to spell your last name?
Yes, certainly. My last name is Fazio. F as in Frank, Alpha, Zebra, Indigo, October. Fazio.
Okay. Thought so, but wanted to make sure.
Not a problem.
In case we were to get disconnected, is there a callback number that I could reach you back at?
Certainly. It's 305-453-4538.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, so how can I help today?
Okay, so what I'm interested in doing is going to the Philippines for either a 30 or 60-day flight. And I spoke with the airline reservationist, and I've spoken with other people. There's actually no physical way from the airlines to find out if you're on a no-fly list. Now, I would like to know how that's accomplished to find out if a person is on a no-fly list, and including myself, because I'd be flying with some other people. So, can you explain that to me, please?
Unfortunately not. We don't have access to those lists either. I mean, from all the information we have, those types of lists are classified information. They're used to keep the country safe. If a person that was on a no-fly list could find out easily that they were on it, then they could easily find ways around it, or at least try to know that they didn't know that they could find ways around it.
Okay, I understand that perfectly. Okay, so but now the way the airline explained it to me is if I have to purchase the ticket and then actually get on the flight, or whoever's involved with the process, before they would be found out if they were on a no-fly list at the airport. Is that part correct?
Not necessarily. More than likely, actually, if you were on a list, you wouldn't even make it through security. You wouldn't make it onto the plane.
Okay, yeah.
The way you phrased it there is a little off.
Okay, that's okay. You would be stopped prior to when you booked in. Okay, that I got. Now, so what happens to the person's money that is received from the airline salesperson that for the ticket? What happens to that ticket? The money for the ticket, is that returned, or is that a different policy, Chris?
That would be, I would guess, up to the airline itself. I don't know if there's nothing that the TSA has that tells the airline they have to refund it or they get to keep it.
Okay.
We don't have control over that part of things, so I don't know if they would actually be required to refund it, or if they could just keep it. I don't know for sure.
All right, well, the man who I want to purchase the tickets through explained to me that you would probably get the money back, which means nothing. So I asked him to send me a contractual agreement with the ticket, and he couldn't do that. So I thought I would try to get in touch with the TSA before I bought these tickets. Well then, the easiest thing to do is just to take, well, there is nothing easy about this. To take your chances and purchase the ticket and go to the airport without making too many reservations on the other end. Well, I can say that you've been very helpful and very pleasant to speak with. And I can say thank you very much for your assistance, but I will have to never get the answer to this question until we get to the booking desk. Then, Chris.
I don't know about the answer to find out if you were on a watch list. As far as if you would get the money back.
Well, yeah.
The only suggestion I could give you would be, that would have to be a legal issue. So, other than paying a lawyer to look into it,
yeah, no,
which would probably end up costing you more than the price of the ticket anyway. No, probably not. You wouldn't know until you actually go through the experience.
Okay, yeah, I myself, I feel secure. I have several qualifications in my background that would probably, I probably am not on a watch list, but you never know who is. And if I purchase tickets, like for instance this week I purchased a ticket for a woman, I don't even know if she's going to be able to get on the plane to come and see me, and that was one of the people I wanted to find out, but as you explained, that's not possible. So if I went down, if I had these people go to the local police station and do a background check for a $10 service fee, would that show up on the no-fly list, or that's separate things altogether?
I don't think it would